Star Wars is one of my great untainted joys in life, and I mean that when I say it's untainted. For me. Maybe it is for you, and I totally understand why. One of the most hideous trends in pop culture in the last 20 years has been the fragmentation of mass media, the decay of shared cultural ground, and the ratcheting up of polarizing stories from Hollywood to the pages of Marvel to serve smaller, more niche audiences, and it makes absolutely no sense. Money is left on the table when activists and entertainment businesses use popular franchises to shoehorn their politics, their ideas into every story in a way that fans can easily detect. And Star Wars has experienced this. The Last Jedi is sort of ground zero for it, only if you ignore the whole old school leftism and anti-corporatism of George Lucas's prequel trilogy, but I digress. You could zoom in on the whole existence of the Rey character and the nerfing of Luke Skywalker into sort of a cowardly hermit and say, aha, feminism strikes again. But I honestly think that's kind of lazy. Like, you'd be more correct to say the entire premise of The Last Jedi, that the fate of the galaxy should not and must not rest with just a few elite families like Skywalkers, Kenobis, Palpatines, etc., that it's coming from the left wanting to play power politics with the Force. Kind of like how the entertainment press writes the "diversity takes center stage" at this year's Oscars headline every single year, they also do this weird thing where they report on any female character who can throw a punch and doesn't want to be led around by boys as revolutionary and bold. Like, they've never heard of Alien, Tomb Raider, Terminator, or Star Wars 1977 starring Princess Leia as the damsel 100% not in distress. And that's because the entertainment writers cover it that way. And because the entertainment writers do this, I feel like a lot of people more inclined to the right give it credibility by taking it seriously. Like, there is nothing revolutionary at all about the character of Rey. She's been done a million times, and it's kind of just fine. The worst thing they did with the Rey character was rob her of being Rey Nobody and saddling her with a derivative Palpatine origin story. But these are all kind of, par for the course debates for Star Wars fans, and they should be in bounds to have in the open and without, strawmanning and tearing each other apart. One way I choose to live, and I want you to live, is to not let political activists turn screenwriters and hack directors and leftist actors or whatever take away what you love by meddling in it in bad faith. Star Wars means what it has always meant, which is that fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. And you, as well as people unlike you on the other side of the political divide, can accidentally fall into this trap of the dark side and drown in it if you are not careful. So I'm writing a book about it. It's going to be coming out with Hachette's Center Street imprint here in a couple of months. It's called How the Force Can Fix the World, Lessons on Life, Liberty, and Happiness from a Galaxy Far, Far Away. And I'm doing it because Star Wars is still incredibly unifying, despite the efforts of some on the left, and on the right, to be honest, to use it as a weapon rather than a way to understand ourselves and the world around us. Star Wars creators may practice cancel culture, but they can't change that Star Wars is about the road to redemption, even for people who've done terrible things and do not deserve it. It's also about empathy and overcoming incredible bias, or even seeing beyond masks to humanize people that we're afraid of. Star Wars is about hope. Look, like, Disney may be to the left on most days that end in Y, but they introduced the Antifa in space character Saw Gerrera and literally used him to make a point about how radical politics and violence erodes your humanity, whether or not you're an anti-fascist. Given the opportunity to tell a story that said the opposite, they didn't take it. Instead, they focused on people who build things and on hope. Star Wars is still about conquering fear. Whereas if you turn on the TV or flip open the New York Times, you'll be told day in and day out that being afraid of your own shadow is practically a virtue, that you could be killed by any moment by COVID or a terrorist, and that your kids could be kidnapped if you let them play outside unsupervised. Star Wars still says no, and that fear and being a control freak is wrong, and that it's going to unravel your life, maybe even hurt people. Star Wars is a story about balance. Whereas the world wants you to deal in absolutes and feed you content through echo chambers and algorithms that push you to be extreme about everything all the time, The Force is about moderation. It's about keeping the light and dark in check, realizing that they're both legitimate, but creating harmony. And if you don't, you're in big trouble. I am always going to be worried about Star Wars and the possibility that its new creators may start telling stories about how maybe the dark side is actually good. Who's to say that passion is wrong or that anger is dangerous or that the quest for power is corrupting? I mean, like with power, you could change systems. You could institute justice for the marginalized. So maybe the whole George Lucas philosophy of fear, anger, hate, suffering just upholds white supremacy and needs to be torn down. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking out for. In the meantime, I see a ton of Star Wars content out there for different audiences to choose from, like a buffet, and I'm having the time of my life as a Star Wars fan. So you, go out and have some fun with it, and don't let sad, bitter people take that away from you. If you want to check out my upcoming book, it's called How the Force Can Fix the World, and if you sign up for my newsletter, I will send you some information about it. So go over to politicizeme.substack.com and sign up at no cost. And hey, may the Force be with you. Hi, I'm Stephen Kent. Thanks for checking out my channel. If you liked this video, please hit that like button, leave a comment. I always try to respond to every single one. And subscribe! Hit that button down below so you're getting a notification every time a new video posts. We would love to have you be part of the community, and I look forward to talking to you. If you like Star Wars and you're interested in politics, which I suppose is why you're on this channel in the first place, you should also consider checking out my new book. It's called How the Force Can Fix the World, Lessons on Life, Liberty, and Happiness from a Galaxy Far, Far Away. And it is my love letter to Star Wars and my stating of the belief that these movies, these stories, these books, comics, the characters, they offer us guidance on how we can live better lives, be better people, and possibly, by extension, make our politics a little less crazy, possibly even better. I hope you'll like it. I've put so much love into this book. It comes out on October 26th, 2021 of this year, and it's up right now for pre-order. So hit that subscribe button on your way out. I'm Stephen Kent. May the Force be with you. Always.